So Neil, another disappointing feeling by the end of that.
I think so, yeah. I think we deserve to win the game. But again, we've switched off a key moment. 91st minute, is it? People not doing their jobs. It's cost us taking 3 points. You know, it's a bit similar to Oxford City here at the beginning of the season. And you can't do that against good teams in this division. It's unforgiving in terms of the opposition. As I say, when they're bringing subs on, they're usually bringing on quality players who are going to make an impact. We were out on our feet at times. You know, obviously we had to make changes. But you know, lads have got to do their jobs. We've given them a clear understanding of what we're doing. When we're making the substitutions, people haven't got out to the ball, and we give a very sloppy goal away.
Obviously, it's one of them moments in the game late on, heads drop, and it almost felt like it was so close yet so far.
Yeah, I think it was so close. As I say, second half, thought we were excellent. Thought there was only one team going to go on and win it. Once we scored, they had one chance, I think, when you've got in behind. Matty's made a good save, but I think generally we were the ones putting the pressure on. You know, don't get me wrong, first 20 minutes, thought they were excellent. We couldn't get to grips with their shape. With the 4-4-2, two lads coming off the sides, you know, almost making a diamond at times, with lads dropping in. But when we got to grips with that, we got in at half time, I thought we played really well. You know, and we were on top, and probably overall one of our better performances, if not our best performance overall of the season. But you got 1 point, and you know, and doesn't matter what you think you're going to get and what you think you deserve. You've got to work hard for it. And again tonight, we've let ourselves down.
Is it a good point?
No, I don't think a point at home is a good point, particularly when you're 2-1 up. People might say, "Oh, you would have took a point before the game." I wouldn't. You know, we've played Spennymoor before last season. They're a good side, don't get me wrong, very well structured, great shape that they play off, and a good team. But when you get 2-1 up in front with, and you're in the 91st minute, see the game out. But like Oxford City, we didn't, and I think that's our naivety, our youth a little bit. Don't get me wrong, we were out on our feet. Some lads haven't played for a while, but no excuses. Just get your job, see the game out, take the 3 points and move on.
What did you make of the overall performance? Besides the late equaliser, it was attacking. It was good in parts, and it was.
I thought apart from the first 20 minutes, we were good. You know, they're a strong team. You know, I thought first half, when we got in the game, we were making too many passes. And that's I keep saying this to our lads, and I see it regularly in non-league where teams think because you can get the ball, and teams let you have the ball, oh yeah, it's great, and we'll pass. Good teams like Spennymoor were just waiting for us to make a bad pass, have a bad touch, and then we were going to go and press us, and then we were giving the ball away. And that's what I say. At half time, we got him in and said, make fewer passes. You know, can we get the ball out wide? Get full-backs involved in the game, but make fewer passes, because or we go long and we second ball, and then we go and play from there. And it worked, but it only worked for 90 minutes, and unfortunately we were lacking in the last 5 or 6.
How's that change, or what changes?
In terms of
Well, late on in conceding,
I think they, having to make substitutions. Obviously, they're making substitutions and they're going for it, and we're trying to, see the game out. Lots of changes now, particularly with the 5 subs. I think probably 10 substitutions made, so it can get a bit all over the place. But what you've got to try and do is when you go on is give them a clear structure to work from, which we did. You know, we just said to them, Josh was shattered. They were piling men up front. So the 11, Mondel came on, and he's a good player, left foot, quick. So we're trying to plug that gap really, and and just say go in as a back 5, stay in as a back 5, and then jump once you get across the pitch. But we never did it, and it's cost us the goal if you go and have a little look at it.
And when you look at the complexion of the game, and obviously we could have went out of the relegation only with a win, does that sort of add to rub salt into the wound?
It does. I mean, I don't look at the table really. I mean, pointless after 18 games. I just think back-to-back wins for us, a bit of confidence. I thought we played well in most parts against a very, very good team. Seen a lot of progression in the last 2 games, and you're hoping you can take that on, and if you get 6 points, a bit more belief comes up, ready for the next game. But it wasn't to be, so it's no good me moaning and groaning about it. Lick our wounds and go again.
Was it frustrating the amount of second balls and sometimes first balls that you lost in times in midfield?
I think first half, I don't think we lost a lot second half. I think second half we were much better. First half was mainly because we couldn't get to grips with their shape. For 20-25 minutes towards the second half, we landed on most stuff, apart from obviously the last 5 or 6 minutes. Wheelo's legs, we were shattered, as Harvey. I'd say Josh was tired as well. Enoch obviously had to come off. So when you're making that many changes, it is difficult. But the basics is what's cost us the goal.
I know you brought in Josh Wardle today or yesterday, I can't remember
Yeah.
which day it was, but how important is that of an addition?
I think it's very important. I said, there's no hiding the fact we wanted to keep Josh in the summer, but he had an offer that he thought at the time he couldn't refuse. And I was keen once I realised he wasn't playing as much as what he wanted to play at Radcliffe, and understanding what we currently need in our dressing room, which is leaders and experience. And he was available. Well, we inquired, was he available? We managed to get a deal done with Radcliffe, and Josh would be good for us, and what we've got to try and do here is a football club, and I've been saying it for ages. We've got to try and build a football club over a period of time, particularly now we've come into this league. So signing Josh for the longer term as well gives us some stability. It doesn't give us that 1 year element that we've had to do in the past few years. Apart from obviously we've had Saul and obviously Harvey this year. So it's about building that squad behind for future years and keeping all of your best players if you can. But yeah, a great addition for us. I'm sure he'll be a bit sore in the morning off that game, because I thought it was, cut and thrust, and both teams are really having a good go. As I say, they played some really good stuff. But just disappointed when you're 2-1 up at home off the back of Saturday. It would have been nice to go back to back, but it wasn't to be. And as I say, we move on, and hopefully, we keep on improving.
And in terms of Josh, you mentioned how much of a leader he can be in that dressing room. What else is next to come in terms of the rest of the squad?
Well, as I've said, numerous times, it's about trying to improve the squad. I think you've seen tonight, we're still a little bit light in certain areas in terms of squad depth. But again, I've said many a times, it's not as easy as just, you can only have so many lone players, and it's about trying to find permanence. Permanents are difficult to do, and some will have to go out from here, which they will be doing over these next week, 10 days, 2 weeks, to free up some of the budget. People keep screaming out about a striker. They're not out there. If they were, I'd sign them. They're not out there at the moment. Obviously, Enoch's come in and done well. Callan is doing well at Prescott, and he'll come back, definitely. As I said, when he first went out, he'll be coming back as soon as his 28 days are done. They'll give us firepower. Young Cal's come in tonight for his first start. Hasn't trained with us yet. I thought done really well, particularly in the final third, caused a few problems. But yeah, we've got to be stronger in depth, I think. But stronger in depth is difficult because you've got to be permanent players, because not many clubs are going to loan you lads if they're not playing football.
And with the lads coming back, and Chris Doyle limped off in the warm-up, and you've seen Bobby today with the knee brace on. What's the latest on them? Yeah,
it doesn't get any easier, does it? So Chris broke his nose, as you know, on Saturday, half-time. He had to come off. He was an outside chance to play tonight, but obviously signing Josh, we thought best leave Chris and see, get him right for the weekend. And just went out to do a jog just to see how his breathing was and that, and pulled his calf in the warm-up. So doesn't rain it pours, doesn't it? Young Brad Grant, who we had on loan, has got a real bad injury, which is devastating for the lad. He's done really well for us, two assists. He's got injured in training, which we're gutted about. What a great kid. So yeah, I can moan and groan about my injuries, but these lads have got injuries like Brad, which are going to keep them out for a while, and that's far more important than me moaning and groaning about injuries.
What's the extent of his injury?
Not 100% sure. I just know it's bad. But he's a real positive kid. He's had a great football club. And he'll get the best of care, and he'll be back. It's not. He'll be back as soon as he can. But from our perspective, obviously his loan finishes now, and we move on. And obviously we wish him well, and we'll keep an eye out, and I'll keep in touch. Regarding his injury.
And just one more on that. That'll be one more loan space. Casper Pasiak. What's the latest?
So yeah, with Casper, obviously Casper's out as well for 9 weeks with the ankle injury done here after 4 minutes on his debut. So obviously when we brought Brad in, we couldn't have, well, we could, but we didn't really want 2 lone left backs, because I think the whole idea of bringing young lads in from league clubs is that they play football. It's pointless them. They can play at their football clubs in behind closed doors games and travel all the way here and sit behind. So at the time, obviously Casper wasn't ready. So when we brought Brad in, it was pointless having the 2 of them. So Casper's went back to Preston, recalled from a loan perspective, because he wasn't, he's probably ready about now. So we've got to look at where we are, because Joe's picked up a hip injury tonight. So when you think, okay, we've got a back 4 and we've got cover and Matty in there as well, and then we lose Brad, we could lose Joe, so doesn't rain it pours, but as I said earlier, there's a lot worse things going on, isn't there? So I've just got to make sure that I do my job and try and make sure that we build the best squad we possibly can.
You never like looking at it too far ahead so early on, especially after a game. But Southport on Saturday, it's a big day for the club and a big game as well.
Yeah, it is. Fantastic football club, great ground. A bit cold up there normally, like for me. But yeah, great ground, great football club. Good people. And as I said when I came in 6-7 years ago, we've played Southport in a trophy. I think they knocked us out the trophy at some stage in the last few years under Liam. I think we beat them in this. I think they beat us in the Senior Cup, and we beat them in the Senior Cup, or something like that. So we had some good games, but no one would have thought we would ever meet in the National League North. I don't think so soon anyway. So it's a great fixture for us, but we're not going there to make the numbers up. We're under no illusions how big the task is. But we play like we did tonight, and we can make sure we get some players back fit, or some of the lads who've got knocks tonight are fit. I'm sure we'll give them a real good game.
There's one more. Did the lads need picking up after a result like that, or at least an end like that?
I don't know if they do, I do. Because you put so much into it, and we've not come away on the right side of the 3 points. But they'll need picking up, the young lads in the main, when we learn from our mistakes. But I do think, we do need strengthening. Not so much from a team perspective. I think we need to strengthen as a squad, because you've seen tonight we're quite threadbare in certain areas, which has probably been our undoing a little bit. But as I say, overall, good performance off the back of Saturday. Saturday was a good performance. I thought we were better tonight against a very good side. Just disappointed that we didn't get over the line.